Hook 0 to 15s. You got the raise. You got the promotion. You moved into the better apartment. You bought the car you always told yourself you deserved. And somehow, you feel exactly as stressed about money as you did 3 years ago. Maybe more. Tension 15 to 60s. Here's the part that should unsettle you. It's not a coincidence. It's not bad luck. And it has almost nothing to do with discipline or self-control. What's happening to you has a name. It has a psychological mechanism, and it was essentially designed to happen. Because the system that told you earning more would fix your anxiety is the same system that makes sure it never quite does. And the people who figured this out earliest? They didn't get richer by earning more. They got richer by understanding something that most high earners never figure out at all: body. Let's start with a number that should bother you. In 2026, median household income in the United States is hovering around $80,000 a year. Adjusted for inflation, that's meaningfully higher than it was 20 years ago. People are earning more objectively than previous generations at the same age. And yet surveys consistently show that financial anxiety is at generational highs. The feeling of being behind, of treading water, of never quite arriving. It's more widespread now than it was when people earned less. How does that work? The answer starts with something called hedonic adaptation. It's one of the most well-documented phenomena in behavioral psychology, and it is absolutely ruthless in how it operates. Here's the simple version. Your brain has a baseline, a setting for what feels normal, and whatever your life looks like right now, your brain is in the process of deciding that this is the new floor, not the ceiling, the floor. So when you get a raise and move into a nicer apartment, your brain doesn't file that under success achieved. It files it under, this is just what my life is now. And then it starts looking for the next gap, the next thing that feels slightly out of reach. This isn't weakness. This is literally how human cognition was built. For most of human history, always wanting slightly more was a survival advantage. The problem is that the modern economy is specifically engineered to exploit that mechanism. But here's what nobody tells you about hedonic adaptation. It doesn't just affect how you feel about what you have, it affects what you spend. Because the moment your income goes up, your reference group shifts. This is the part people underestimate completely. When you were earning $45,000 a year, you were comparing yourself to people earning $45,000 a year. Your social world, your aspirations, your sense of what a normal life looks like. It was all calibrated to that range. The moment you start earning $90,000, something subtle and almost invisible happens. You start spending time around people who earn $90,000. You start going to the restaurants they go to. You start feeling the pull of the vacations they take. The car they drive starts to feel like the baseline, not the luxury. Economists call this the income relativity effect. Your absolute income matters less than where you sit relative to the people immediately around you. And here's the psychological trap buried inside that. As you climb, the reference group climbs with you, always just slightly ahead, always making your current position feel like not quite enough. Now layer on top of that what researchers call lifestyle creep, which is just hedonic adaptation expressed as spending behavior. When income goes up, fixed costs tend to follow almost immediately. Bigger apartment, better car, subscription services that feel like nothing individually but compound into hundreds of dollars a month. A standard of living that now requires the higher income just to maintain. So what felt like a windfall becomes infrastructure. What felt like a reward becomes an obligation. And the raise that was supposed to create breathing room creates a new, tighter baseline instead. Here's where it gets psychologically interesting. Research from Princeton, led by Daniel Kahneman and Angus Deaton, famously found that emotional well-being tends to plateau around a certain income level. Their original number was $75,000 a year, updated by more recent work to around $100,000 in today's dollars, with significant regional variation. Above that threshold, more money doesn't meaningfully increase day-to-day emotional experience. It can increase what they call life evaluation, which is how you think your life is going when you step back and assess it. But the felt quality of your daily life? The actual texture of your Tuesday? That largely stops improving. And most people don't know this, because nobody tells you. The entire architecture of modern aspiration tells you the opposite. Work harder, earn more, get to the next level. And when you get there, you'll feel it. But you don't feel it, because your brain already moved the goalposts. So, why do some people escape this cycle? Because some people do. Here's what the research actually shows. The people who break out of lifestyle inflation almost never do it through willpower alone. Willpower is a finite resource. It gets depleted. It loses to habit and social pressure every single time in the long run. The people who actually escape it change their identity before they change their behavior. They stop defining themselves by what they consume and start defining themselves by what they own outright, by what they've made irreversible, by what can't be taken away if the income stops tomorrow. There's a concept in behavioral economics called commitment devices. Mechanisms that remove future choices so you can't undermine your own intentions. The people who handle money well tend to automate savings before lifestyle has a chance to absorb the excess. They make the boring decision once and remove it from the realm of daily temptation. But even deeper than that, there's something identity level happening. Because lifestyle inflation isn't really about money, it's about belonging. It's about signaling to a reference group that you've arrived. It's about not feeling left behind by the people whose approval you've decided matters. And until you question whose approval you're actually chasing, the trap never opens. Climax. Here's the central thing. The brutal, clarifying truth at the middle of all of this. Lifestyle inflation is not a financial problem. It is a social identity crisis expressed through spending. You are not spending more because you have more. You are spending more because you are afraid of being perceived as less. And the system, the advertising, the social media, the culture of visible aspiration, it is very, very good at keeping that fear alive. Because a population that feels perpetually almost there is a population that keeps consuming. The people who figured this out didn't stop wanting things. They just got honest about why they wanted them. And that honesty changed what they chose. Ending. More money will not fix the feeling. Not on its own. Because the feeling was never really about the amount. It was about the gap. And the gap moves. The only way out isn't to earn so much that the gap disappears. It's to stop letting the gap define you. The raise didn't fail you. The story you were told about what the raise would fix. That's what failed you. And knowing that, really knowing it, is worth more than the next raise will ever be.